What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an all-new Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. We are still assisting inside the Spanish Civil War, and it doesn't actually look like we're making that much progress. Not only are we missing 117 light tanks, but we aren't necessarily making that much progress either. If we go ahead and we could somehow do a nice swarm around Barcelona, which we might do in just a second, looks like we're winning. Italian highways have been unlocked, meaning therefore all of our national ideas giving us better infrastructure inside all of Italy has been improved. Let's go ahead and work on the prospect for oil, giving 8 oil inside Sirte, which I believe is inside Libya somewhere. So anyway, the idea is if we could unlock more oil, we don't even need to begin trading for it as much. That means it improves our economy. Speaking of trading for supplies, we aren't getting full efficiency from Brazil, so let's remove that. Change somebody over. I guess we can get it from British Malaysia. I don't really want to help them that much, but I guess I can. Looking at oil, Iran, we're not getting what we should be, so let's go ahead and send them 0. Finding Venezuela, and I want about 16 oil, at least for now. And I have a surplus of 4. So what I could do is I could finally begin producing some fighters, because they take oil and they take rubber, and I definitely need to get rid of some of these others. Right now we're making close air support. These aren't necessarily fighters. They're basically like bombers, and they do a lot of assisting. I do want those as well. The radio has been unlocked. Let's definitely start working on better excavation. All this does is it gives us better resource efficiency. So ultimately, yes, that's good, but I'm not really running out of resources just yet. So maybe getting it now might not be a bad idea. It's going to give me more steel. It's going to give me more... I don't know if we're really producing oil, but we will be producing oil inside Libya. So maybe it'll help us. It's a very small number, so like 20 oil. Maybe I'll get 2 extra oil, who knows. But as resource efficiency improves, it'll definitely get better and better. I want one of these tanks to make their way to the south. And what we're going to do is we're going to attack from 3 different angles. And I have no idea if this is going to work, but it seems like the best plan. And I don't know what happened. One of my tanks went all the way back over here. So it looks like we're winning this fight. And if we could somehow just push on through, we would do very, very well. Because then all of these units would die. And then they would wither away because they have no supplies. It looks like we're winning. Thank goodness. Alright, eventually all of these units are going to wither away, which is great news. I have a lot of political power. I think I'm going to go ahead. We don't have 15% war score. What I would like to do is start working on mobile warfare expert. Actually. Are we working on mobile warfare? We're not. Ah, this is why. I would like the Grand Battle Plan expert. I got confused. And the reason why is because we're going to get, obviously this is very, very expensive. But all of our battle plans are going to be 10% reduced in time. So, I mean, that's like 30 days. So that's literally a month. And so that's the entire goal. Let's go ahead and send over our tanks. I want to go ahead and clear up this area. A lot of them should be withering away and dying because they don't have actual supplies. And therefore, we're going to keep pushing as much as we can. Alright, we're doing quite well. We have unlocked the prospect for oil, and now we're going to continue on with the Libyan refineries, getting, wow, 2 synthetic refinery slots inside Libya. And we're going to get some oil. I'm wondering if we're actually going to get refineries, because that's pretty broken. I mean, that would really mean 14 oil and 8 rubber, but obviously with our economy laws right now, it won't be that great. Taking a quick glance, all of these guys look like they're ready to go and be dropped and delivered. I do want to go ahead and create my other 12. They don't need to be ready just yet. All of you guys will go here. All of you guys will now go into the French line. And we're still waiting for our 250 political power. And eventually, after we do the Libyan refineries, it might be a good idea to start gearing up for our war against Yugoslavia. And I think that's actually exactly what we're going to do. So let's take our tanks. Let's continue to make a successful push. All of these units are going to wither away and die. Construction 2 has been unlocked. let's start working on better excavation. And then these units, whatever else we have left to research, we're probably going to start improving our weapons and equipment and, you know, obviously preparing for our war against Yugoslavia. So here is support weapons. Let's go ahead and get that. We definitely want to start building up some actual military factories now. And I get that this is probably overkill, but let's destroy or remove a few of these units from the queue. And the idea is we want more infantry equipment. We actually want to start producing artillery, because if we do go to war, it would definitely be in like 2 years or so. When I say war, I mean like World War II. I do want a lot of artillery to deal with France, and I want to plow through the French border into these mountains as quickly as possible. And having artillery would make that much easier and much more efficient. So we're working on the construction. Engineering, it's not 1938. I would love better radar, but it's not really necessary right now. Actually, I would love to have radar at all. It's so weak, it's not really that useful. I do need artillery. Don't think I'm going to do it yet. We're not really going to focus on tanks. I definitely want recon companies, so let's start working on that. All of these units should be withering away and dying, but surprisingly enough, they're not. We're about to take this province. I'm sure if we had, what's the word? If I actually had engineering and if I had decryption, I'm probably sure I could see all of these units dying. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's us. We're dying for some reason. Okay, so we're about to take mountainous provinces, and really, I don't want to lose any tanks if I don't need to. So let's bring these guys all the way back down to Murcia. And what we're going to try to do is just glide on through and try to take this port. Because much like I said, if we could somehow take the port, they would lose a lot of supplies, much like in the north here. Amelia Earhart disappears, a loss for aviation. Surprisingly enough, within the last week or so, I don't want to say week, it's probably a month ago, they believe they found a picture of Amelia Earhart and her plane. Over somewhere in the islands near Japan and Australia. Libyan refineries have been unlocked. We are now going to go with the Triumph in Africa. And basically, this is going to give us, for the rest of the game, 20% base national unity. I absolutely want that. And we have 250 political power, so therefore I will get the Grand Battle Plan Expert. And what's amazing is for the rest of the game, I'm going to also get some daily Army experience. Leadership purges in the Soviet Union. Uncertainty has long reigned in the Soviet Union. While details are scarce, there has been a series of secret trials on the highest level, and both generals and ministers have disappeared from the public eye. The natural assumption is that some of these great conspiracies has been uncovered within the Communist Party, but no official statement has been made. In addition, the diplomatic reports we have access to indicate that evidence presence at these trials has been far from indisputable. Whatever has been happening, the structure on the Soviet high command has changed irrevocably. Evidence for the corruption inherent in communism. So right now, the Soviet Union is working on, these leadership purges, and ultimately, they are the weakest they have ever been right now. So there's a lot of political turmoil, a lot of strife going on in their government. And so what's amazing is we're going to take advantage of this situation and probably go to war with Yugoslavia and try to grow our territorial gains. Looking over to the south, though I'm sure we've probably run out of tanks by now, we are continuing to push. Eventually, all of these tank units, most of them are actually like infantry and cavalry. So what we're going to do is switch those over to probably just cavalry units themselves and make them into military police. Okay, so now that we've unlocked prepared defense, for the rest of the game, all of our infantry have better defense and more health, so that's amazing. Let's actually go with Grand Assault. We're now going to have our first tactic, which basically means we now do a lot more damage. We're going to get more breakthrough and soft attack for only 102 days. Absolutely. That's definitely going to help us out inside Yugoslavia. Okay, one needs to go down, and we definitely need to take this port. And we're doing quite well. We are swarming around. Madrid is probably going to fall sometime soon. If I could take Malaga, maybe I could just cut them off altogether. Surprisingly enough, it looks like Nationalist Spain is struggling this time around. Usually they kick Republican Spain's butt, but because we weren't able to take care of the north, all of these units have been tied up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure a lot of them are dying, but it's kind of odd to see that they haven't done that well. Looking at our research slots, like I said, I want to start working on actual warfare. It's not 1938. I do want computing machines, but I'm not going to pay a penalty for it. Should I get Marines? No. My number one priority is the field hospital, and basically why it preserves a lot of manpower, but more importantly, every time a unit dies, that experience goes away. So if I could somehow get our units to not lose as many troops, they therefore don't lose as much experience, and therefore they can get stronger and stronger as time goes on. A lot of people fail to realize that. Okay, we're about to take Malaga, and I'm guessing our goal is... That was easy. Let's go ahead. One will go here, one will go there, and I want one to go for this airfield. And we're obviously doing very, very well. We are circling over a lot of these enemy troops, and it looks like they've retaken the beachhead. But if we could take this river, it would give us some substantial bonuses. I wish the north would be squared away, but it looks like they're obviously having a very hard time. The Triumph in Africa has been unlocked. Let us immediately begin. I really want to go for claims on Yugoslavia, but I don't think we will. Let's actually begin unlocking Mare Nostrum. It's going to give us more naval dockyards, which we don't need, but I do want the air innovations, and we can't do that until we have Mare Nostrum. Okay, everybody's moving in. We're about to secure an airfield, and it looks like the Marco Polo Bridge incident has finally been underway, which now means Japan is about to go to war with China. Japanese and Chinese forces have skirmished inconclusively over the strategic Marco Polo Bridge located just southwest of Beijing. China has rejected Japan's demands for an apology and territorial concessions, claiming instead that the breaking point of Japanese aggression has been reached. Diplomats fear that the volatile situation could result in war at any time. It's probably going to be a war very, very soon. And Republican Spain is getting eaten alive, but we're not doing that well either. Let's move into the plains. If we cross the river, it's going to be pretty hard. So I think what we're going to do is cross into friendly territory, and then move across into, I guess, what is this, Cordoba? Okay, so everybody is going to cross on over, shift-click into Cordoba, so then we don't have any river crossings. Support weapons have been unlocked, and now all of our units have absolutely a lot of improvements. Let's go ahead and start working on better artillery. I don't know if we need that yet. Do I want logistics? Yes. Do I need logistics? No. I kind of want Marines, but we don't need that yet at all. So let's go with logistics companies. I'm really liking all of this extra research. And we need to move into Cordoba, take the city. And now they're going to have a lot less supply. What I should do is try to cut off the enemy, but I don't actually have tanks anymore. So we'll see if this works. It probably won't. Well, we're moving in. So if I could somehow just take this area, we would do really well. We would cut off all of these units, and that's basically how the Germans play with Blitzkrieg. I don't think we've taken it yet. In fact, I think we're actually cut off now. We are now cut off. We might lose all of these units. Okay, so all of these units are going to die. I'm going to send one tank here and one tank there. They've taken Cordoba. Why is everything so hard in life? Okay, research opportunities. Let's go into infiltration. And this does improve motorized mechanized. So it's not really all that bad. So we are going to go down an infantry offensive. And the reason why I was a little hesitant is because I was thinking, should I go with assault? I don't know if it matters. But ultimately, I do want this better reconnaissance. So that's what I will do. Can we improve anything else? Should I get radio detection? I guess I will. I don't need it, but we're going to try for it. This has been a very long civil war, and it looks like finally we are starting to win here in the north because they are running out of supplies. Some units from the German Reich are doing well. Japanese buildup on the Chinese border. Following the Marco Polo Bridge incident, Japan has not let down their pressure on the Chinese border. In conjunction with the aggressive Japanese rhetoric, speaking of terrible retaliation for Chinese refusal to cooperate, a renewed war between Japan and China seems more and more likely by the day. The diplomatic situation will soon reach a boiling point, and Japan has expressed no interest in defusing the situation. Mare Nostrum has been unlocked. I am now going to start working on the claims for Yugoslavia. And therefore, all of these units look like they are finally ready to go. Let's bring all of them down. And all 12 of you will join up. I want these leaders because ultimately we have 36 troops. You can only have a 24 with leaders, so this field marshal is going to be leading the charge. I am now going to start working on exercising these units, and now all of you are going to go here and then create an offensive line to start the beginning of planning for this great, great war against Yugoslavia. We obviously have a lot more troops than they do. We have a better economy. I think we're going to win without any real issues. Taking a quick glance, these 24 are going to do the same thing. You're going to be led by Giovanni. You're going to move here. And now you're going to create an offensive line that goes through a lot of the plains of the country rather than the mountains. Okay, so obviously right now, what can we do? We have to finish our claims on Yugoslavia. So in 70 days, plus the actual core, we're going to finally be ready to go. Let's also finally unlock infantry equipment and weapons reduced time. I absolutely want that. Actually, are we starting to construct military units? Yes, we are. Military factories are being produced, so therefore it makes the most sense to get a war industrialist. All of our military factories are now going to construct 10% faster. We are struggling very, very much so to take over Spain, but as you can see, some of these units are finally going to die because they are going to run out of supplies. Recon companies have been unlocked. Let's go ahead and change over from support artillery to recon companies, and let's do the same thing as well with our actual army divisions. We still have a surplus of support equipment, and the Chinese United Front forms an unstable alliance. So they were in the middle of a civil war, but it looks like all of them have come together to fight off the Japanese. Okay, we're in 1937. Once 1938 runs around, we're going to get the computing machine. These guys aren't taking attrition yet, but they will be. I'm willing to bet on it. And I kind of want everybody to gain this planning bonus preparation. So I'm going to delete this line and send everybody. This is going to be a horrible idea, but it's not going to last for that long. Okay. Oh no, what have I done? I've messed up. Thought I was good to go, I guess I wasn't. I want all 36 units here. They've all lost this planning preparation. I want to do something like this. And the reason why is I want all of these mountains to be conquered. Okay, so on the 1st of January, we are going to unlock the computing machine, and now we're going to get another 3% bonus for all of our future technology unlocks, I guess. Everybody is still fighting. Once Madrid falls, this campaign is going to finally be over. It's been very bloody. The Yugoslavian requests sales of airplanes. Realizing a strategic weakness, the Yugoslavian Air Force has initiated a crash program to modernize and expand its forces. Significant money reserves have been set aside to cover the purchase. A commission is traveling around Europe to look for a new source of fighters and medium bombers. Given the urgency of the issue, the Yugoslavians have insisted on immediate delivery of transfers of planes directly from the producer. I could send them fighters, and I could send them tactical bombers. We would get consumer goods factories reduction for really 180 days, which is really good. But unfortunately, because we're going to annihilate them, we can't spare anything. Okay, everything appears to be going well. I'm now going to finally just take Madrid and then end the Spanish Civil War. Everybody is gaining some experience. Technically, these guys should gain some experience as well. Begin training. And our war, not only do we have to wait for the claims on Yugoslavia, but we also need to have an actual claim itself. Unfortunately, I think all of these units are taking attrition, but not a lot, which is surprising. A lot of these units already have most of their planning done, which is at 80%, not 50%. Madrid is being sieged. It's about to fall. And I believe this is going to be the end of the Spanish Civil War. There it is. Okay, so we have finished claims on Yugoslavia. Let's go ahead and justify our war goal, take the claim state. In 100 days, we're going to be declaring our war. No! I'm going to be really upset if they get the ability to, claim on them. End of the Spanish Civil War, an interesting development. With the surrender of the last Republican strongholds, the Spanish Civil War has come to an end, and we have the Anschluss of Austria. Now what's happened is Austria is now part of the Italian Empire, and I'm really wondering, did I wait too long to justify against Yugoslavia? I really hope not. Benito Mussolini speaks against Yugoslavia. Now that we have 25%, world tension, I'm really wondering if this was a good idea. Let's go ahead and throw in our field hospitals on both the Alpine divisions and our actual infantry. I have yet another, more research to go ahead. So let's unlock signal companies. Let's also finally unlock military police. We don't really need military police just yet, but we probably will need them in time. Now that we have claims on Yugoslavia, let's unlock air innovations, and then eventually we're also going to try to claim down south as well. Volunteer forces have returned. All three of these units are actually going to switch on over to cavalry divisions, and therefore join these units. And they are going to be my military police units. We have 23,000 weapons. Unfortunately, a lot of them are going to go away. When can we finally declare our war against Yugoslavia? 1938, 20th of May. So that's actually in a couple days. So let's go ahead stop exercising everybody. Stop exercising these guys so they gain some morale. We have free military factories and a lot of oil and a lot of rubber. So let's begin producing some naval bombers as well. Moving these up. And I want to produce better fighters, some actual naval bombers, and some close air support. And I have actually now run out of military factories, so I guess we're good on that front. On the 20th of May, we should be prepped and ready to go. We're in March, not May. Sad life. Radio detection has been unlocked. Should we get decimetric radar? I don't think that's necessary. Absolutely getting improved infantry equipment. In fact, I think we should get better support weapons first. We probably should have done that a few months ago. And taking a quick glance around, everything appears to be going well. Air innovations have been unlocked, logistics companies. In 1 month, we're going to be ready to go. Let's actually start working on the Albanian occupation. We're eventually going to go for a straight up, we're going to straight up try to claim Albania. It might work, it might not. We'll see exactly what happens. Let's also start working on improvements to our infantry equipment. 1939 is going to be a massive year for not only new equipment, new artillery, and new industry. I mean, right there, that's going to be about 5 or 6 things that we need to, start improving. Once we get 150 political power, we are probably going to go ahead and unlock the war economy. And the idea is now all of our military factories are going to be producing a lot faster. And we now have less consumer goods reduction. So this was 9 before. It was probably like 15, and now it's gone down to 11. It's probably was 14 or 13, and now it's down to 11. Our claims are ready to go. Let's declare our war. I'm going to activate both of these plans as aggressive as possible. And let's go ahead, declare our war, and take these states. Alright, everybody, thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you all have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure.